You must agree. The situation
You
is
think you're
critical.
thinking, but if we're being honest, most of the time,
Don't
you're not
forget to
thinking.
like and
You're
subscribe.
reacting. You're swapping
Ours
one
is
stimulus for another, one opinion for another, one headline for another, one emotional surge for another. And modern life has trained you to confuse that with intelligence. Because you can talk about a topic, you can repeat what you heard, you can argue in comments, you can quote the right side. But deep thinking is rare. Not because people are born shallow, not because the average person is stupid, but because the world is engineered to keep you on the surface. So in this video, I'm going to do something uncomfortable. I'm going to show you why most people never think deeply, and what shallow mind actually means psychologically. Not as an insult, as a diagnosis. And by the end, you'll have a practical system to rebuild depth in your thinking, starting this week. Because the benefit isn't philosophical, the benefit is real. If you learn to think deeply, you make better decisions. You see traps earlier. You stop being manipulated by noise. You build stronger plans. You create more original work. You stop wasting years on the wrong problems. This is PsycheLogos, where psychology meets clarity. Let's begin. First, we need a definition, because most people think deep thinking means knowing lots of smart facts. No, deep thinking is not information. It's not IQ. It's not vocabulary. Deep thinking is a mode of attention. It is the ability to hold a problem in your mind long enough for the hidden structure to reveal itself. Deep thinking is asking better questions than other people ask, staying with uncertainty without panicking, seeing multiple layers of cause and effect, resisting the urge to form an opinion too early, building mental models instead of collecting takes. A shallow mind, on the other hand, is not a dumb mind. A shallow mind is a mind trained to jump quickly to certainty, chase emotion over understanding, prefer speed over accuracy, consume without integrating, trade depth for the comfort of quick conclusions. Now here's the part most people won't admit. A shallow mind feels good because it reduces discomfort. Deep thinking requires friction. It requires tension. It requires you to sit in the space where you don't know. And humans are wired to avoid that space. So this isn't about blaming people. It's about understanding the forces shaping your mind. Because once you see the forces, you can fight back. I'm going to give you 5 reasons. And as I explain each one, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Because if you can spot which one is your weakness, you'll know exactly what to fix. Let's start with the biggest one. Reason number 1. Your attention is fragmented. Modern attention doesn't break dramatically, it breaks quietly. You wake up, check your phone, scroll a little, switch apps, open a tab, close it, start something, get interrupted, start again. And you never notice the cost. Because the cost is invisible. Deep thinking requires unbroken time, not talent, time. A single complex idea needs minutes just to load into your mind. Think about it like opening a heavy program on a computer. If you close it every 30 seconds, it never fully loads. You never reach the deeper functions. That's what constant distraction does. It keeps your brain permanently in the loading screen. So you live in a state of mental almost focused, almost understanding, almost serious, but never deep. Now here's the terrifying part. When your attention is fragmented long enough, deep thinking begins to feel painful. You sit with a book, a problem, an idea, and your mind starts itching, restless, uncomfortable. Not because you're incapable, but because your brain has been trained like an addict. It wants a new hit, a new stimulus, a new reward. This is why people say, "I can't focus." They can, but they've trained the opposite skill for years. So here's a self-test. Be honest. When was the last time you did 60 minutes of work without checking anything? No notifications, no switching tabs, no phone. If you can't remember, that's not a personality trait. That's your training history, and we can rebuild it. But first, you need to see the next reason.
Reason #2.
Reason number 2.
Addicted to
You're
opinions.
addicted to opinions. This one is subtle. Most people don't consume information to understand. They consume information to feel. And opinions are emotional drugs. A strong opinion gives you certainty, identity, belonging, superiority, a sense of control. You say, "This is good, that is bad," and suddenly the world feels simple. But reality is not simple. Reality is layered. Deep thinking requires you to say, "I don't know yet," and that sentence makes many people feel weak. So instead, they adopt a position quickly. They pick a side. They borrow a take. They download an opinion like an app, and then they defend it. Not because it's true, but because it's theirs now. This is one of the main reasons shallow minds spread fast, because shallow thinking is socially rewarded. It's easier to share a take than to share a model. It's easier to sound confident than to be accurate, and the algorithm rewards confidence. So here's another self-test. When you hear a new topic, do you first ask, "What is true?" Or do you first ask, "Which side am I on?" If your mind rushes to a side, that's not thinking. That's identity defense, and it kills depth. Reason number 3. You confuse consumption with understanding.
Welcome back to the program.
Let me describe a very modern illusion. You watch a long video about a topic. You read a thread. You save a few posts. You highlight quotes. And your brain whispers, "Nice, we learned." But did you? Or did you just experience the feeling of learning? Because consumption is passive. Deep thinking is active. Deep thinking requires integration, summarizing in your own words, connecting it to what you already know, testing it against reality, applying it to a real decision. Most people never do that. They hoard information like objects in a garage, books, notes, quotes, podcasts, and the mind becomes exactly what we said earlier, a crowded warehouse of disconnected items. A shallow mind is often a mind full of information, but no structure, no architecture, no usable models. So ask yourself, if I took your phone right now and removed all the saved content, bookmarks, clips, and screenshots, what would remain in your thinking? What ideas would you still be able to explain clearly? If the answer is not much, that's not because you're not smart. It's because your learning pipeline is broken, and we're going to fix it. Reason number 4. You avoid the pain of not knowing. Here's the truth most people never face. Deep thinking hurts. Not physically, mentally. Because it forces you to confront confusion, to wrestle with complexity, to admit you might be wrong, to sit in ambiguity. And the average mind has been trained to escape discomfort instantly. Bored? Scroll. Uncertain? Search for a quick answer. Confused? Watch another clip. Anxious? Get a dopamine hit. So you never build tolerance for not knowing. But that tolerance is the doorway to depth. Because deep insights arrive after the shallow answers fail. The first answer is usually a cliché, The second answer is usually a smarter cliché. The third answer begins to approach truth. But most people never get there because they quit at answer 1. So here's a technique to test depth. Take any important question in your life, your career, your relationships, your goals, and ask yourself, what is the first easy answer I always give? Now ask again. Okay, but what's underneath that? Ask again. And what's underneath that? If you can't go beyond the first layer, you're not thinking deeply. You're repeating. Reason number 5. Your environment is hostile to depth. This might be the most brutal. Most people live in environments that train shallow thinking every day. Phone on the bed, notifications always on, constant background noise, always available, always interrupted. Your environment is not neutral. It shapes you. It cues your habits. It tells your brain what kind of person you are. A deep thinker lives in an environment that signals, this is a place where we focus. This is a place where we build. This is a place where we question. A shallow mind lives in an environment that signals, consume, react, check again, don't be alone with your thoughts. And then we wonder why depth feels rare. It's not just brain, it's context. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, but so what? I'm fine. Let me show you the cost. Shallow thinking costs you in 4 ways. 1. You make worse decisions because you choose based on surface signals, emotion, trends, social proof. Deep thinking sees second-order effects, what happens after the first outcome. 2. You're easier to manipulate, because manipulation works by triggering emotion and certainty. If you cannot sit in uncertainty, you can be led anywhere. 3. Your work becomes generic, because originality requires depth. If you only consume what others consume, you produce what others produce. 4. You waste years on the wrong problems, because shallow minds chase urgent things, not important things. They chase what's loud. Deep minds chase what matters. This is why deep thinking is not a luxury. It is a survival skill. Now, we move to the solution, because I promised you benefit, not just diagnosis. I'm going to give you a system. Not motivation, a system. It has 4 parts, and if you follow it, you will feel a measurable shift in how your mind works. Step 1. The one question life filter. Deep thinking begins with a question. Not 10, 1. Pick a question you will live with for a week. Examples. How do I build a body of work I'm proud of? How do I become financially dangerous? How do I master one skill deeply? How does human behavior actually work? How do I design my life so I don't collapse? Now here's the key. Every day for a week, you write that question at the top of your notes, and everything you consume gets filtered through it. If it connects, keep it. If it doesn't, discard it. This one step alone destroys shallow consumption, because your brain becomes an aim, not a storage unit. Step 2. The 45-minute depth block, attention rebuild. You don't start with 2 hours, you start with 45 minutes. 1 block per day. Phone in another room. 1 task. 1 problem. At the start, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will crave escape. That craving is not failure, it's withdrawal. Stay. After 2 weeks, something changes. Your mind begins to hold more. You can keep complex ideas alive longer. Connections begin to appear. Not because you became smarter overnight, but because your attention stopped leaking. Step 3. The model map. Integration over consumption. Every time you learn something, you write, key idea in one sentence, what it connects to, when you will use it. This forces your brain to integrate. This is where depth forms, because intelligence is not facts, it's relationships between facts. A mind becomes deep when it becomes structured. Step 4. The scrutiny loop. Thinking practice. Once a day for 10 minutes. Externalize thinking. Write an argument. Sketch a diagram. Record a voice note teaching the concept. Then try to break it. Where is it weak? What assumption is hidden? What counterexample destroys it? This is how you train depth. Not by consuming more, by refining. Now I'm going to make this brutally simple. If you want immediate benefit, do a 7-day experiment. Day 1. Choose one question. Write it every day. Day 2. Start one 45-minute depth block daily. Day 3. Build one model map each day from what you learned.
And remember not
Day
to
4.
overwater it.
Do 10 minutes of scrutiny loop.
The key is to approach the problem
Day 5.
systematically.
Remove one
Observe the
environmental
relationship
trigger
between
of
these two
distraction.
factors.
Day 6. Teach one idea to someone else, quickly. Day 7. Reflect. What changed in your mind? If you do this, you will notice something. You'll feel less reactive, less emotionally hijacked, more calm. Because shallow thinking is noisy. Depth is quiet power. Let me leave you with a truth. A shallow mind isn't a bad mind. It's a trained mind. And training can be reversed. Deep thinking is not genetic. It's cultivated. It's the result of attention that stays, questions that cut, models that connect, habits that repeat, environments that support identity. So here's my question to you. What would your life look like if you could think 30% deeper than you do right now? What decisions would change? What relationships would change? What work would you finally produce? What fears would dissolve? Most people never find out because they never build depth. But if you're here, watching PsycheLogos, you're not most people. This is PsycheLogos, where psychology meets clarity. Choose one habit, repeat it for 7 days, and your mind will begin to change, not from inspiration, but from structure. One decision at a time, and your brain will rise to the level of your life.